Today we will discuss the observer design pattern. This is one of the easiest patterns to understand if you ask me. So you are interested in a particular website or a particular business. You would like to get some updates from them periodically about what are the things that they are offering. It can be anything. So what you do? Of course, if you are going to their website, you may provide your email ID or your mobile number. That is the through your computer. Of course, if it is some business in your area, you may just provide your mobile number so that you can get updates in an SMS. Whatever. These are some of the scenarios. In this particular scenario, there are three things. You who wants to subscribe to a particular website. So the terms that we use, that's the important thing here. You who is subscribing for a particular newsletter for a particular website, you is called a subscriber. You can think yourself as an observer too. You are observing a particular website or a particular business and are trying to understand what they are trying to offer. So these are the two terms that is used interchangeably in this particular pattern. And the process of you giving your mobile number or your email ID, that process is the subscription. And whom are you subscribing to, the business or the website? They are called by different terms based on the technology that we are describing. So in the observer pattern, they are called publishers or they are also called subject. The name subject is used both in reactive streams technology too, but we will come to see that later. They call it as publishers or observables based on the implementation of that particular pattern. Again, not our discussion right now. So you are a subscriber, you are subscribing to a publisher. If you understand these two terms, then the observer pattern is understood. The other thing is how exactly that we can depict this thing that we just explained in code. So, in a nutshell, publishers plus subscribers is equal to the observer pattern. You can see from the explanation that there are two actors in this pattern. One is the publisher, the second is are the subscribers. When we code, we usually give the publisher the name as subject. So this YouTube channel or any YouTube channel for that matter will be the subject of interest. So there will be one interface we are going to create as a subject. The second is the subscribers. And in technical terms, we call them as observers. So there is going to be a subject interface and there is going to be an observer interface. So now that we have created the two interfaces, we need to understand what is the functionality of these particular interfaces. So if you look at the code of the subject, what is this functionality? Of course, the subject has to register the observers. So the first functionality or the first code that we are going to write is void register observers, and of course, or just register observer. So let us do it one, and of course it will take an observer as an argument. That is the first thing, of course, because the subject is somebody who is going to publish. In the YouTube case, it is the video, and of course somebody has to subscribe. So this particular functionality depicts that subscription. There is always a case where the subscriber is not interested in the videos published by the YouTube channel anymore. In that case, he should be given the facility to unsubscribe too. So for that, what we are going to do, let us use remove observer, and then here also we have to pass the observer, the observer. And of course, the last thing that we need to do, of course, once the videos are published, we need to notify. So for that, we are going to use notify observers. Of course, there are no arguments to this. So these are the three functionalities depicted by the subject. That means the observer will register itself with the subject. Subject in this case is the YouTube channel. And of course, if at some point the user or the subscriber want to unsubscribe, he can use this particular method. And this is used by the subject to notify of any new videos that has been released. So all the registered observers will be notified through this particular method. This completes the functionality of the subject. What about the observer? Of course, it has to receive whatever is being published by the subject. So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to use just one method, update. Of course, if there are any specific properties or variables or attributes that needs to pass as part of this particular update, we can do that too. But as a minimal representation of subject and observers, this will suffice. We have completed the definition of the interfaces. What is next? Of course, there has to be some implementation of this. So if you take the same YouTube channel and the subscribers thereof, there has to be an implementation of the subject interface. So I am going to create a YouTube channel as an implementation of the subject interface. And then, of course, we have to implement all three methods. So let us implement. So you can see here, somebody has to register an observer. Of course, we are giving the option to for the observer to remove himself. And of course, for those who have registered with the YouTube channel, we will notify whenever a new video is released. So again, these are the logical parts of what we need to do. So we need a data structure. So if somebody is going to call this particular observer, so somebody will create a YouTube channel instance. For example, this IT Schoolin is one of the YouTube channel. So an instance of the IT Schoolin will exist and somebody will subscribe. So when somebody subscribe, we have to hold that particular subscriber. For that, we have to use a data structure. So let us start the simplest of data structure. So we will be using the list interface for that particular data structure that will hold a list of observers, and we will give the observers as the attribute or the variable name. And then we are going to create a constructor. So let us create a constructor in this case with we don't need any. So what we are going to do, we are going to create. So when somebody creates an instance of this particular YouTube channel, we want to initialize this particular observers, and this is going to be a array list. That's what we are trying to do. So what we have done so far, when somebody is going to call the register observer and then then pass in who is the observer, we have to hold that particular observer in memory. For the time being, we are putting in memory. For that reason, we are going to use the list interface. And then once that particular observer has registered itself, we are going to put the that particular observer into that particular list. Actually, this is all there is to it. So simple, isn't it? So the only thing that we have done is that we have just created a new data structure to hold the all the subscribers that is subscribing to the YouTube channel. So next is to remove the observer that was registered previously. So what we do, we use this dot observe, this dot observers, and of course the list has a remove if method that takes a predicate. So let us use the lambda expression. So ob is the observer. So object dot equals observer. I think that will remove the observer. So what we have just done, we are using the remove if method of the list interface, and we are just checking whether the list contains this particular observer that was passed in. That's all for removing a particular observer from the list. And now the last functionality, that is the notify observers, which is really easy. What we need to do, we just need to iterate through all the observers that has been registered, and we will simply use the for each, and we will just call what were the observer and the update method, so that any notification of the new channel will be updated. This completes our discussion and coding of the subject part of the observer. So let us just iterate. There are three functionality for the subject. We should give the ability for the observers to subscribe. So for that, we are using the register observer method. To hold these observers that are registered, we are using a list as a data structure here. Next, of course, we are giving the option to unsubscribe from the channel. So we are giving a remove observer method that will remove. So what we are trying to do, we are using the remove if method to remove that particular observer if that observer exists from that particular list. And the last thing is that whenever it is time to notify the subscribers of a new YouTube channel, we will use the notify observers. So what we do through code, we just iterate through the list of observers and call the update method on the observer. The next thing is how we are going to code the observer. Now it is the time to code the observer, how we are going to do that. So what should be the name we should give to the subscriber who is subscribing to the channel? Maybe subscriber itself. Maybe let us give a class subscriber, and the subscriber is going to implement the observer. So let us implement the observer. So here, what we can do, the update method, which is coming from the observer, let us give a string and with a name, so that the subscriber will receive a notification on the name of the new video that was published by the subject. So you can see here the subject will notify the observers, and in the YouTube channel, when we give the notify the observers, we can give some name. For the time being, maybe we have to change the notify observers with some a name change. So let us give a string name, so that the YouTube channel also use that particular string name, and then of course we will pass on that particular name. That completes the compiler problems that we just faced. So what exactly we have completed the subject. Now we are implementing the observer. Subscriber is the observer. So what exactly we need to do? We need to, the subscriber will receive. So here the code is really simple. Just give, just give name something. So name published, something like that. That's the code the subscriber is going to receive. So just imagine that the subscriber will receive a notification when the observer will receive a notification from the subject. The subject in this case is the YouTube channel. That effectively completes our job, but we are not yet done there. The subscriber, to subscribe to that particular channel, the YouTube channel, it has to have a subject. So the subscriber should have an attribute of the subject, like so. And then we are going to create a constructor that takes that particular subject, like so. Because, and not only that, we need to use this particular subject dot register observer, this. Again, not big a deal to understand. So what we are trying to do here is the subject has, the subscriber needs to have a subject. I mean, in this case, and of course, you can see here, before I go forward, we are programming to an interface, not an implementation. The subject is the interface. The YouTube channel is the implementation of that particular subject. But when we actually code to the subscriber, you can see here, we are programming to an interface, not an implementation. Why? Because the subject can be anything. It can be a YouTube channel. The concrete implementation can be a YouTube channel. Tomorrow we can change. So when we create a subscriber, the subscriber can now subscribe to a YouTube channel. Tomorrow it can be a newspaper. So the subject can be anything. So we can change a concrete implementation of the subject interface as and when required. Again, we talked about the program to an interface in some of the other videos. So now what we have done here, the subscriber needs to have an attribute. That means a subject has to be encapsulated in the subscriber. And then, of course, when somebody creates an instance of the subscriber, this constructor will be used. We pass in which is the subject to which this subscriber is going to subscribe. And then in the constructor itself, we will call the register observer, which is a method of the subject. And then we pass this instance. This means whoever is this particular subscriber, we subscribe to it. So once we subscribe, so what happens? Imagine we are creating a subscriber instance, passing in the particular subject, and then in the constructor, this subscriber will be registered with this particular subject. That means if you go to the subject interface, this register observer is the method that is getting called. Effectively, the implementation is this YouTube channel. So this particular register observer will be called, and that particular observer will be added to the list of observers that is now held in the data structure as an attribute of the YouTube channel. So now we have completed the subscriber 2. That means an instance is created. The subscriber will get registered with the particular subject, and as and when the channel is ready to publish a video, the subscriber will get an update. Now the last portion is to create a main method and see whether the whole thing is working fine. Now the time to see whether it is all the code that we have just done is working fine or not. So we are going to create a main class that contains a main method. So the first thing that we are going to do, we are going to create a YouTube channel. So let us create a YouTube channel, and then let us create a variable YouTube channel. But of course, here also what we are trying to do, this is a subject. So by the rule, let us program to an interface and not an implementation. So the YouTube channel is the subject. So one of the actors of the observer pattern. What is the next? We need to create a subscriber. So let us create a subscriber. New subscriber. Yeah, because there is a constraint in the constructor, we need to pass in that particular subject. So we will pass that particular YouTube channel. Let us create a variable for that too. And of course, it is the subscriber. But subscriber is what? It is an observer. So again, catering to the principle, programming to an interface, we are converting it to the observer. So the whole thing is ready. And then, so what happens here? You have created an instance of the subject and we have created just one subscriber. When we create this particular subscriber, what may have happened behind the scenes? Because inside the constructor, we are passing in the YouTube channel, the YouTube channel instance. So inside the subscriber, this particular subscriber, whoever was that particular subscriber, maybe we can change the name subscriber, maybe Ram is the first subscriber. Now Ram is the observer who is subscribing to this particular YouTube channel. So inside this constructor, Ram has already subscribed to this particular YouTube channel. And now whenever this particular YouTube channel is going to publish a video, then Ram should get notified. But here we haven't done any method to showcase that there is a video is getting published. So what we can do, this YouTube channel is going to have a publish method, publish video, something like that. That takes a name as an argument. So what happens in this case? In this case, it will call the notify observers with that particular name, like so. So again, what we are trying to do, because we need to depict that this YouTube channel is going to publish a particular video which is not part of the interface. So we have given a separate publish video method that takes a string. That means just to give the title of the particular video. And of course, what happens internally, it calls the notify observers. So this is what we are trying. So we are going to call inside the main method, we are going to call the YouTube channel dot publish. But of course here you can see that that particular publish video is not getting. So what we are going to do for time being, let us give the observer pattern as the title of the video, like so. Of course, you know why exactly this error, because the reference variable is pointing to an interface, the subject, the type is subject. For that particular type, there is no publish video. So what we have to do, we need to cast it so that that error is gone. So we have to downcast it from the subject to the YouTube channel for that. So what happens now, when we call this publish video, the publish video method will get called, which in turn calls the notify observers. So you can see already Ram has already subscribed. So we should see that this particular subscriber will see that system.out.println, that name, whatever observer pattern published, will be displayed onto the screen. So let us see whether the observer pattern is working fine or not. Let me run the main method. And of course, you can see the observer pattern published. Why? Because this is the name, the title, and whom gave out this particular display? Ram gave. Likewise, we can have n number of subscribers and everybody will get. So maybe this time Krishna is subscribing. So you will see that two outputs we will get the observer pattern published twice. So both Ram and Krishna has subscribed to the YouTube channel, and whenever this channel publishes a video, both of them will get notified. This is the observer pattern for you. This pattern is used extensively, more so when we start learning about stream reactor and the reactor streams and all. You can relate that particular, even though it is reactive programming, you can relate this observer pattern getting applied there. So, as an end, what exactly is the definition of the observer pattern? The observer design pattern defines a one-to-many dependency or relationship between objects, so that when one object changes state, all the dependent objects are notified automatically. If you look at the example code that we have seen with the subject as the YouTube channel and the different subscribers, whenever there is a state change in the YouTube channel, meaning when a new video is released, that information is notified to all its subscribers.